Hello everyone, today we'll be servicing this 2011 Volkswagen Polo. This is a 1.4 CGGB engine. We'll be doing a full service which includes air filter, pollen filter, fuel filter and then the oil and oil filter. So first we'll be changing the air filter. For this there are 5 Phillips screws. We'll be using a Hengst E892L filter. So once you have undone the screws, the cap will come off like this. It's always good practice to write the date on the filter, just so you know if someone else after you, they know when it's been changed. And once that's in nicely, fitting is the reversal of removal. So under the car there's an under tray. There's normally 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a few more in the front. Once you remove these you'll have more access underneath.
And then always wave at us.
So that's with the under tray removed, and as you can see below you have more access to the oil filter above. So the oil filter is just located underneath the manifold over here, as you can see. To remove that you'll need a 30mm ratchet. Once that is on, it's always a good idea to put the ratchet in and loosen it slightly, so that once you have removed the oil drain plug you can then undo this by hand from the top of the engine. To remove the oil drain plug you'll have to go to the back of the sump. That is the oil drain plug here, for which you will need a 19mm socket, and that fits in nice and snugly on a ratchet. Once you have removed the sump plug, the oil will drain as followed. It's always a good idea to renew the washer on the drain plug. Whilst the oil is draining, it's also a good idea to open the oil cap and pop the dipstick open, because it helps air to come in the system and for the oil to drain. Once the oil has drained, you can remove the oil filter. Because I've loosened it with a spanner, a wrench before, I can now remove it by hand. Once you have done that, the oil filter will come out as followed. So whilst the oil drain cap's open, I always find it good practice to put a little bit of new oil in, so it can flush out any old remaining oil and just pause it. So next we'll be putting the filter back on. It is where we previously found it. Before refitting the new filter, make sure you lubricate the edges of the oil seal. You can use some old oil that has drained out. And then with the 30mm ratchet, make sure you tighten the oil filter. So I always find it good practice to put a bit of new oil in whilst the drain is open. We have improvised and made our homemade funnel, as I don't have one to hand today. So just a tad bit of oil to go in, and that will come out of the other end. And then once you have refitted the sump plug, you'll be ready now to put the oil in the engine. So for this engine we'll be using 5W40. Ensure it is C3 spec. This engine takes 3.2 litres, but we'll put 3 litres in and then check the dipstick. Next we'll be changing the pollen filter. To access the pollen filter you must open these clips. There's one here and one here. The pollen filter is located in the passenger compartment underneath the glove box. When refitting a new filter, make sure you pay attention to the direction of the airflow arrow. In this car the air flows towards this way, and therefore you'll be fitting the filter upwards in this direction. Fitment is reversal of removal, so that clip will slide like this towards the center, and this clip will slide towards the center. To refit, put the new filter in and slide the clips towards the outer edges, and that will then secure the filter inside. Next we're going to change the fuel filter. This is located on the back side of the car, on the driver's side if it is a right hand drive model. To remove this, you must remove one connector here, one connector here, and then there's another connector on top. To remove this, you must push the blue bit of the connectors. I like to use plumbing spanners for this, and simultaneously with your other hand use a long flathead screwdriver to pry the connectors away. This is the same for all of the other ones. Once it is removed, you'll be left with one connector here. This connector replicates this one here. In the middle connector it has a blue band, and the other one on the side is a black. Be sure to follow the direction of the arrow, which means the filter should be facing this way. There's one connector that attaches onto here. The connector with the blue ring should attach to the middle, and the connector with the black ring should attach here. Always find it a good idea to write the date and the mileage at which you are changing it, so that the person after you will know when it has been changed. Once you have managed to fit it, it will look as followed. Remember to press down the connectors and push it in, and the same for this one and the other one, otherwise it will remain loose. Thank you for watching.